News. My name is William Evans. I'm here to bring you the latest from the world of news, of course, beginning with the headlines. 21 politicians who were killed for standing against the genocide against the Tutsi have been honored at Rebero. Survivors of the genocide against the Tutsi from the former Cyangugu prefecture, now Rusizi and Nyamasheke districts, are calling for lasting solutions to the persistent issues that continue to hinder genuine unity and healing. On the international scene, freed Argentinian Israel hostage Leahon credits Trump for his release. Of course, many thanks for joining us. We are live at RwandaTV on our social medias, but also on YouTube. Let's begin our bulletin with the main event marking the end of the commemoration week was held at Rebero Genocide Memorial in Kigali City, where tribute was paid to politicians who were killed for standing against the genocide against the Tutsi. Adams Kwizera kicks us off tonight.
The Rebero Genocide Memorial features the names of politicians who were killed during the genocide against Tutsi, some for their opposition to the genocide against Tutsi, and others both for being Tutsi and for standing against politics of hatred and divisionism. In his speech at the closing of the commemoration week, the President of the Senate of Rwanda, Dr. François-Xavier Kalinda, a body that oversees the application of fundamental principles and functioning of political parties, highlighted Belgium's role in the divisive politics that contributed to the country's destruction. Political parties and politicians played a major role in destroying national unity, a process that was directly supported by the harmful politics of Belgian colonization. Their colonial policy of divide and rule was based on creating divisions among Rwandans to serve their own interests. They fueled conflict and introduced ethnic classifications, telling Rwandans they had no shared identity, ultimately leading to the breakdown of national unity. The spokesperson for the National Consultative Forum of Political Organizations, NFPO, Christine Mukabunani, stated that Rwandan politics today is grounded on the choice of people and affirmed that political parties will not allow anyone attempting to introduce policies that contradict the country's history. We have made a choice to have political stance of shared leadership, which prioritize citizens' well-being and development. We don't need any other democracy that is not aligned with our history. Senate President Dr. Kalinda François-Xavier urged politicians to reflect on their role in the fight against genocide ideology from different elements in the country, across borders, and on the international scene.
Bayobozi, banyapolitiki, ndagira ngo rero mbakangurire ko tugomba kuba ku isonga.
I urge leaders and politicians to be at the forefront in the fight against genocide ideology. This can be done through decentralization efforts, by promoting unity and resilience, especially by educating the youth about the country's history, from the colonial period up to the genocide against Tutsi. This will strengthen our national unity and foster a deep sense of patriotism. At the Rebero Genocide Memorial, the names of 21 politicians are inscribed, all of whom were killed for standing up against the genocide against Tutsi. The memorial, located in Itichiri district, is a resting place of 14,000 victims of the 1994 genocide against Tutsi. Adams Kwizera, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Adams. Politicians in Rwanda, including those in political parties whose leaders were targeted during the genocide against the Tutsi in 1994 for opposing the genocide against the Tutsi, say that their history has taught them important lessons not to tolerate divisionism or any form of genocide denial or ideology. Take a look. A number of politicians who were killed when the genocide against the Tutsi began on April 7, 1994, were members of political parties that did not agree with the regime of Habyarimana and his MRND party. These politicians refused to adhere to the tribal rhetoric during a time when some parties split apart, allowing for the rise of Hutu power. Some of the family members of these politicians say they've inherited their legacy of rejecting injustice and divisionism. My husband was against injustice of any sort and always fought against it. He advocated for a just and all-inclusive Rwanda. I'm happy that our current government is promoting this too. It is of great value when we remember the legacy of Professor Lumia. He advocated for the unity of all Rwandans and was against wrongdoing. Honorable Pini Zeimana, who leads the Democratic Union of the Rwandan People Political Party, UNDPR, and Mukabaranga Agnes, who leads the Centrist Democratic Party, PDC, say there are tangible lessons these fallen politicians left behind to learn from. They demonstrated that being a good politician is standing for what is right, even when it means dying for the truth. In this case, you will be always celebrated as a politician that laid a good foundation for your country. The lesson is that we must stand for what is true, peace and unity at whatever cost, especially if you're a politician. It therefore is your sole responsibility to stand for what is sane. The Minister of National Unity and Civic Engagement, Dr. Bizimana Jadamasen, indicated that there are still bad politicians, but urged Rwandans to continue to have unity. We should take note of the existing bad politicians like Ndagijimana and others who wish to take Rwanda back to its harsh past. Rwandans have a saying that Rwanda is a cradle that holds us. This is symbolic that Rwandans are one in their motherland, which they share. Let us continue in this direction of a united Rwanda so we can leave a just and fair country behind for our children. The Rebero Genocide Memorial is unique in that it displays a list of 21 politicians who were killed for opposing the genocide against the Tutsi plan. Every year, this is where the National Week of Mourning concludes, reflecting on the role of negative politics in dividing Rwandans up to the genocide against the Tutsi. It also reflects on the role of positive politics in liberating the country and preserving the unity of its citizens and establishing inclusive development. And now, survivors of the genocide against the Tutsi at Tijari Hill say that they had hope that the government troops would protect them. They sought refuge in their compound, but it was those soldiers who played a role in killing them while they were being persecuted. We do have a report. On this Tijari Hill was the military post and communication towers of Radio Rwanda. During the genocide against the Tutsi in 1994, soldiers stationed at the military compound collaborated with Interahamwe to directly participate in the killing of the Tutsi. Considering that we were close to the military barracks, we hoped they would protect us, but that is not how it went. Locals attacked us first. We tried fighting them back and resisting, but later they got support from the military, who collaboratively killed quite a big number of us. These very soldiers were in charge of protecting us, but having been in the same locality with them was the worst thing because they ended up killing us. Uwamung Jandodie and his peers sought refuge in the military compound, where they encountered troops on the peacekeeping mission, including belligerents. Upon their arrival, the government soldiers subjected them to severe torture, while others set them on fire. The first thing they did was to cut off the communication tower of Radio Rwanda. Their target was killing us, and this could only happen without anyone knowing about what was happening, so they cut off the communication towers. I sought refuge in here because, in my mind, I thought soldiers are in charge of security and protecting citizens, so I assumed they would protect me and many others. But that is not what happened. They killed many people in utmost pain, to a point that some were even fried using burning oil. This date, April 13th, is a day that will never be forgotten in the history of the Tutsi living in and around Jari. It marks the 31st commemoration of the genocide against the Tutsi in 1994. The local authorities of Gasabo, in partnership with the Buka, have called upon citizens to reject any form of genocide ideology and combat those who deny or trivialize the genocide against the Tutsi. Various organizations paid their respect by placing flowers on over 25,000 Tutsi at Jari Genocide Memorial, an event coinciding with the conclusion of the National Week of Mourning. During the event marking the end of the week of national mourning in Ngororero district, the Minister of Local Government, Dr. Patrice Mugenzi, urged citizens to reject and actively stand against genocide ideology, emphasizing it was this very mindset that led to the killing of the Tutsi in the former Tibirira commune even before 1994. Testimonies and discussions held during the commemoration revealed that the genocide against the Tutsi began as early as 1990 in this area. From that year until 1994, Tutsi in the region were killed simply because of who they were, while others were forced into exile. Among those who survived are members of the families of Clement Murwanashyaka and Christine Banhunze Chera, who testified that Rwanda's current leadership helped them rebuild their lives and helped them find resilience in the face of past trauma. It was also highlighted that many of the killings and persecutions were instigated by local leaders from Tibidira, who encouraged others to attack the Tutsi. Minister Mugenzi called on the public to reject genocide ideology and encouraged families with members still in the FDLR terrorist group to persuade them into returning home peacefully. During the commemoration, one body of the person killed during the genocide against the Tutsi was laid to rest with dignity at Tibidira Genocide Memorial, which is the final resting place for over 24,000 Tutsi. Also, survivors of the genocide against the Tutsi from the former Cyangugu Prefecture, now Rusizi and Nyamasheke district, are calling for lasting solutions to the persistent issue that continues to hinder genuine unity and healing. Among these are the refusal of some individuals to reveal the locations where bodies were dumped and the continued impunity of those who participated in the killing, yet still walk free without being held accountable. Alfred Nsenjiyumva, who survived the genocide at the Hanika Catholic Church in Nyamasheke district, formerly Gatare commune, expressed deep concern along with other survivors in the area about the presence of perpetrators who continue to live freely without facing justice. The survivors are also highlighted that one of the major barriers to true reconciliation is the concealment of information regarding the whereabouts of bodies of genocide victims. This prevents families from giving their loved ones a dignified burial and causes emotional distress and the lack of closure. During the conclusion of the 31st commemoration week of mourning of the genocide against the Tutsi, the governor of the Western Province, Jean Bosco Ntibitura, acknowledged the need for concrete action to resolve these ongoing issues. The week was concluded with ceremonies in both Nyamasheke and Rusizi. In Nyamasheke, the event took place at the Hanika Genocide Memorial, where 8,441 bodies are laid to rest, including newly buried ones. While in Rusizi, the commemoration was held at the Kamembe Genocide Memorial, which now holds 1,012 bodies, including 3 buried during the ceremony. Now, Rwandans living in Ottawa, Canada, joined by their friends, took part in the 31st commemoration of the genocide against the Tutsi. The event included a moment of silence, the lighting of the frame of remembrance, and reading of names of those being remembered, remembrance songs and testimonies from survivors of the genocide against the Tutsi and others. Pascal Kanyemera, who leads Humura, an association of genocide survivors, thanked the youth who organized the event and emphasized the importance of using social media to encounter denial and distortion of the genocide against the Tutsi. Rwanda's High Commissioner to Canada, His Excellency Prosper Higiro, spoke about how the government responsible for the genocide against the Tutsi sowed hatred and divisionism and called on young people to uphold the values of unity, truth, and dignity. on the international scene, freed Argentinian Israel hostage Laia Horn has again spoken on fighting for his brother's freedom from Hamas captivity and why he credits President Donald Trump for his own release. Fox News has the details.
The beginning of Passover last night for the second time since the horrific October 7th attack by Hamas, as the country continues to call for the release of those remaining hostages. Our next guest, suffering Hamas's horror, he suffered it firsthand. Yair Horn was released in February after 498 days in captivity. But his brother, Eitan, remains a hostage, and Yair is making a direct appeal to President Trump for his immediate release. Yair joins us now. Yair, thank you for joining us today on Fox and Friends. Tell us about your experience in captivity, because your brother is still there.
So, first of all, thank you for having me.
Of course.
For the second time.
Yes, okay, we've had, for our viewers, I had Yair on Fox Noticias, and he gave us a beautiful interview. We wanted to do it for all of you on Fox and Friends. So again, the conditions there, and what concerns you about the fact that your brother is still there?
Yeah, I'm so concerned. I was 498 days down in the tunnels, near to hell, so near to hell. No fresh air, no sunlight. Just a little bit of water, a little food. So for me to leave my brother back there, so it's,
Yair, you told me on Fox Noticias that you think every second counts, that you believe he could be killed or he could die at any minute, and that this is really a dire situation.
Yeah, of course. You imagine he's with the lunatics who take us on the 7th of October. 7th of October, those lunatics, they kill, rape, burn innocent people, children, old people. So now you can expect of these people to behave. So I'm afraid. Yes, I am. Of course.
Yair, I know you don't want to talk politics, but the release of your brother and the other hostages that remain is wrapped up in politics. There is a debate that's actually going on in Israel right now that we don't actually see a lot here in the United States on our televisions, which is the Israeli government prioritizing the release of hostages, or are they prioritizing over the release of hostages the degrading and elimination of Hamas? What is your opinion on that?
All what I need right now is all the hostages back. I cannot tell you because I don't know what's the priority of my government. I just can ask, yes, for my government tomorrow release the hostages.
Yeah. What's your message? You were very vocal about thanking Donald Trump. You said to me and on Fox Noticias that you wouldn't be here if it weren't for Donald Trump. You're now advocating for the release of your brother, and God bless you for continuing to advocate for him in this manner that you're doing. What is your message to Donald Trump, and what is your message to Benjamin Netanyahu?
Yeah, of course. I need, first of all, I will thank President Trump every time. I'm sure that I am free now because of him. So I need, because we are here we are celebrating or marking, because we cannot celebrate the Passover, the Pesach. So I need President Trump to be, again, a modern Moses, to Mother Moses to get my people go, let my people go, to free my people, to free my brother, and all the 58 reminders hostages, my brother, and plus 58. I need him to do it again. And also Netanyahu, yeah, he's the one who put the signature. So I need a signature. I need all the hostages back.
I know this has been very painful for you. We're all praying for you, and you're asking Donald Trump to be a modern Moses and let your people, and specifically your brother, free. Yair, thank you for joining us today. We're praying as well, especially ahead of the Passover. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And now that report brings us to the end of our bulletin, but before we go, let's have a look at the headlines one more time. 21 politicians who were killed for standing against the genocide against the Tutsi have been honored at Rebero. Survivors of the genocide against the Tutsi from the former Cyangugu prefecture, now Rusizi and Nyamasheke districts, are calling for lasting solutions to the persistent issues that continue to hinder genuine unity and healing. Freed Argentinian Israel hostage Laya Hon credits Trump for his release. Of course, we've come to the end of our bulletin. Just to remind you that today just marked the end of the commemoration week, which began on 8th to 13th, but we have 100 days to go, so keep loving on the survivors of the genocide. From me and the entire team, have a good night and good luck.